Welcome to today's Vinyasa flow. We'll start off lying down on your rolled blanket or mat with a heart opener to welcome the week with love. So you can take one of the blocks on the medium side, and this will be just beneath your shoulder blades or long side in line with your spine in between your shoulder blades. The other block higher up, the tallest side, underneath your head. It does take some trial and error to find the sweet spot. So this is our first practice of compassion and patience. So you're going to take the medium block around your shoulder blades and the other block just below your head, or rather just below the center, or maybe a little bit lower. Need yoga just to get this all set up. But once you find the comfortable place, it's totally worth it. If this is too intense for you, feel free to take a rolled blanket underneath the bottom tips of your shoulder blades and you'll do cactus arms. If you're using blocks today, soles of the feet together, knees out wide, or something for everyone, I hope, feet as wide as the mat and let your knees rest in towards each other. And we'll start off in this heart opener by bringing the palms together and rub those hands together to create some warmth. Create some warmth, rubbing the hands together for another 3, 2, and 1. Placing your hands on your heart, or one on your heart, one on your belly, as a gesture of showing up for yourself. Allow the practice of making shapes and breathing to be your way of sending love letters to your body, throughout your body. Thank you, body, for being here for me. Sending out gratitude and love to be able to breathe and move right here, right now. Setting whatever intention you would like today. I'm going to suggest love, taking a good couple more glorious moments in this place of support to invite in a texture or color that feels like love. And with each cycle of breath, you're sending out that texture, that color of love throughout your body to the physical perimeters of your being. And slowly releasing your hands, have the palms facing up, pause here. Soft, open, receptive hands as a gesture of being receptive to what you need right here, right now, not what you think you should be doing or what shape you think you should be achieving. Allow the shapes in the breath to be another way to become acquainted with yourself. Slowly rolling to one side so you can move the blocks to the side and return on to your back. Noticing any shifts or changes. Place the feet as wide as the mat, knees rest in towards each other, and cactus arms. Bending the elbows, elbows about shoulder height. And windshield wiper your legs side to side. Pausing to one side long enough that you may feel a stretch at the front of your thigh or the front of your hip. I just muted everyone, but if you have a question, feel free to unmute yourself. Let's do that 2 more times, each direction, as you allow the collarbones and your upper arm bones and your shoulder blades to be heavy towards the ground. And bring those knees to center. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh bone and gently lower your knees on over to the right. If this does not feel good for your knees, then you can uncross that top ankle. Let the shoulder blades be heavy and gently pressing the outer edge of your right foot into your left thigh, and then little circles around with your hips exploring about 3-4 times each direction. So we'll invite in from time to time some circling. Could be very nourishing, healing for our joints, our nervous system. And slowly bring it to center. Slide your left foot to the center of the mat and cross your right knee over your left knee. Extend your arms out wide and lower your knees to your left. Turn your gaze to the right. If you need to, you can lift the hips up slightly at center, slide your hips slightly to the right, and again, lower your knees to the left. Shoulder blades heavy. Sending out the love letter of your breath throughout your body, especially the sides and the back. Good. Then look at your right fingertips. Curl those right fingertips in, bend your right elbow, and then open your right palm, slide it across your chest, slide it across your left arm until you reach past your right fingertips, and now a big flappy circle to the right. Open up through the chest and the shoulders 2 more times. Curl those fingertips in, slide, reach past, reaching to the corners of the room as you circle to center. 1 more time. Curl in, making contact with your hand to your chest, to your arms, and then reach and expand. Belly and ribs towards the back body to help support the knees to center, and uncross, feet as wide as the mat. Center your hips. Cactus arms, windshield wiper your legs side to side. Good couple rounds. Make sure the back of the neck is nice and long. And this time, landing the knees to the left, crossing your left ankle over your right thigh bone, flexing your feet. Little circles around with the hips. Nothing forceful, just to explore and feel. So meeting yourself where you are means taking a shape in which you are able to settle into yourself to feel, not forcing. And then let's bring the knees to center. Scoot your right foot to the center of the mat. Press through your right foot and cross left knee over right knee. Lift the hips a teeny bit, slide them to the left a teeny bit, and lower your knees to the right. And reach out through your arms from your heart space. You can gaze on over to the left. Couple cycles of breath here. Relax your jaw. Soft face practice, even in the strengthening. And curl your left fingertips in, bend the elbow, slide across your chest, giving your body some touch, some love through self-touch. 2 more times. Own breath, reaching to the corners of the room as you circle to center. 1 more time, eyeballs following the direction of your fingers, and bring it to center. Uncross your legs. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Gather your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a hug of gratitude for showing up for yourself. And slide your hands now to the back of your thighs. Let's begin to rock and roll along the full length of your spine, forward and back. If you want, without hands, for a little extra core awakening, hands can pat the mat 2 more. Nice and energizing. 1 more. And we'll meet seated, crisscross, right shin in front of left, sitting in a rolled blanket or mat if you need more height, if your knees are way higher than your hips. Fingertips to the sides, and then walk your right hand or slide your right hand slightly to the right. Reach your left arm up. So imagine that you're breathing into the sides of your body and the sides of your heart. So often we think of only the front of the heart. Bend the right elbow down towards the ground and in towards your body as you lean on over to the right. You could gaze down, forward, or up. With each inhale, feel your lungs expanding, giving your heart a hug and allowing the ribs to expand outward. With each exhale, it's a gentle hugging in, but not collapsing. Press down, come all the way on up, and let's switch sides. Left hand to the left, bending the left elbow and hugging it in towards your body as you reach your right arm up. Breathing into all sides of your heart and the sides of your body. Allowing the ribs to expand to accommodate the fullness, the support of your breath. For 3, 2, and 1. Slowly make your way on up. Left shin in front now. Walk the shin slightly away from you. Press down to the outer edges of the feet. And now take your hands to your knees or to your shins to help assist the movement of the spine. Energetically pull the hands in as you lift up through the heart. So you're lifting up through the heart, back of the heart lifts up. And as you exhale, you're going to tilt the pelvis back and round through the spine, looking inward for your cat. I'm going to do that 2 more times, maintaining that sense of length through the sides of the body that we created just before with all that lateral bending. Tilting the pelvis back, rounding through the spine, and now finding neutral. Bring your arms out in front of you like you're about to give someone a big hug and round back in care. You could think of something that you would like to care for. It could be children, somebody you love, maybe even a project. And as you exhale, we're going to do our cow, but this time imagine you're pulling someone in or something in for a big smooch or hug. You bring light fists to your armpits, to your shoulders, and then extend out through the arms from the heart, reach the fingertips back, and then we'll sweep it around again for that care pose. Could be something different every time. On your inhale, pull that person or pull whatever it is, anything that brings you a sense of love into you, and then round it back, hair. Do that 3 more times, rhythm of your own breath. As you extend out through the arms and you wrap your arms forward, you're breathing into the back of the heart. And as this in the back of the heart, so often we're not aware of collapsing in the back of the heart. We want to explore a sense of fullness, all sides of the heart space. 1 more. Wrapping it around, looking inward in care and love, pulling it in. Slowly make your way to seated. You can rest the hands, you can close the eyes, noticing, feeling all the feels. And we'll make our way now to hands and knees onto all fours. More of a kneeling stance. So let's have our knees and our feet together, or your knees slightly apart, whatever's comfortable for you. We're going to focus more on our hands, our expression of our heart's desire. Let's start off with the knees and the wrists relatively close to each other. And we'll take our hands for a little dance through different angles of extension. So I'm going to turn my right fingertips a little bit to the right, to the outer edge, and then to the left, so only pausing at 1 point each time. Through external rotation until your fingertips are towards your knees, towards your knees, towards your knees. And once the fingertips are towards the knees, bend the elbows slightly, soften your shoulders away from your ears, soften your eyeballs, and begin to peel only the heels of your hands away from the mat. Showing love to our hands, only to a place of comfortable discomfort, no forcing. Now peel your hands even more away until the thumbs lift up and then extend out through your thumbs. Soften your eyeballs, soften your face. Peel your hands a little bit more away until you're to the knuckles for 3, 2, 1. Peel your hands all the way away. Stand on your knees. Wiggle your fingers. Shake out your wrists up and down a couple times. Just want to make sure we maintain a sense of receptivity and adaptability also in our hands as we express our heart's desire. Now the opposite. Flip onto the back of your hands. Fingertips towards your knees, shoulders from your ears. Make light fist on the exhale. Inhale, open and expand. 4 or 5 more times, rhythm of your own breath. For a little bit more intensity, you could bring the hips further back if you need a little bit more exploration of sensation. Good, 2 more. Slowly releasing, peel your hands away, light fist, circle the wrists 3 times each direction. And hands and knees, we will meet all fours, wrists below the shoulders. Knees slightly behind your hips, so we'll maintain that sense of length. Now, just like we did with exploring the expansion of the back of the heart, we'll do cat-cows here. So as we come into cow, just make sure there isn't a collapsing in the back of the heart. There's still a broadness. For this variation, drop your chin towards your chest. So it might be opposite than what you're used to. And as you exhale, rounding. So the frontal hip points lift away from the thighs and the ground and lift the back of the skull just a little bit. Opposite than what we normally do. As you inhale, melting the heart without collapsing, let the head drop. And then round and lift the back of the head. One more time. So we're maintaining a sense of brightness through the heart throughout the movement. Let's bring it to center. Curl your toes under. Now drop the chin as you round the spine this time and bring your hips back. 2 more times. Inhale, neutral spine. And exhale, round. 1 more time. Inhale, neutral. And exhale, round. Pause here. A couple cycles of breath. Breathing into the back of the body, back of the heart, sides for 3, 2, and 1. Hands and knees, all fours. Untuck your toes. Circle the ankles, and wiggle your toes. Taps the feet down and circle and move in any way that feels good to you. So you could do some hip circles, only full body circles. Wag your tail side to side. Want to balance all the linear movements with some circles. Puppy dog pose. Thigh bones stay straight up and down. Up to you. Tops of the feet or tuck the toes under. Reaching your arms forward and wide. Let's keep the arms active. Suction cup-like action in the hands. And hug. Imagine you're about to squeeze a block in between your upper arms. Squeeze the arms towards straight. You could rest your head on a block or ground or keep it in between your biceps. Lift your armpits. Melt the heart. Lengthen the back of the skull to the space in between your fingertips, your hands for 3, 2, and 1. Begin to bend the elbows down as you slide yourself forward for a cobra pose. So for this variation, make sure the knees are pointing straight down, forehead down. Slide your hands off the mat, lightly onto your fingertips. Press the tops of the feet and all 10 toes into the ground. So root down to the tops of the feet, pubic bone down to the ground. Now lift your armpits, bring your shoulder blades onto your back. Soften your belly and ribs away from the ground and lifting up, or rather lengthening the chest and the face away from the ground. Very light in your fingertips. Chin is slightly tucked. Keep pressing tops of the feet down, pubic bone down, and begin to use a little bit more of your fingertips to press down to lengthen energetically pull the fingertips back. So only coming up as far as fair and friendly for your body today. Allow this to be a mindful and kindful practice for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lower down. Forehead to the ground. Slide your hands closer into your body. Curl the toes under. Press up, hands and knees. And let's bring the hips back. Knees together, feet together for a child's pose variation. Sweep the arms by your sides, palms facing up, forehead resting on the ground or a block. And allow your shoulders to gently round forward, wrapping around your outer knees. Rock your forehead side to side to make sure you are softening through your face and your forehead, that you're not overthinking. Allow yourself to be supported by the breath. Keep your forehead center, and again, sweep your arms forward, and this time bring your palms together. Have a slight bend in the elbows, knife edge of your hands on the ground, elbows down to the ground. And energetically press the knife edge of your hands down into the ground and energetically pull back. So you'll feel a little bit more of the shoulder blades reaching towards your hips and your hips down towards your heels. And again, breathing fully into the back of the heart, back of the body, sides of the body. Allow this to be a practice of not only mindfulness, but also kindfulness. Sometimes we focus so much on being mindful that we forget the other wing. We need the kindfulness aspect as well. And slowly releasing, making your way onto your hands and knees, wrists slightly in front of your shoulders. Curl your toes under and keep that activity like we did before, lifting the armpits of the upper body, bringing those hips back and downward facing dog. Feel free to move in any way that feels good to you. You can even slide or spin your heels one direction and then the other. Walk your hands all the way back to your feet. Feet hip width distance apart or slightly wider. Unload your spine, letting go. Maybe thinking of somewhere in your life that you can use a little bit more. Letting go. And then walk your hands side to side and pausing to the right. Walking your hands through center to the left. And do that a couple more times. Right and left. Maintaining that sense of rootedness through the feet as you allow your spine and your head to spill over your legs. Let's bring it back to center, press down to the feet. Belly flies in and up as you roll it on up, one vertebrae at a time. Head is the last thing to come on up. Maybe 3 shoulder circles at the top. And let's make our way to the top of the mat. Walking to the top, feet hip width distance apart. Interlace your fingers, press your palms forward and round to the spine and move in any way that feels good. A little fancy term for this is called pendiculation. It's pretty much like big body yawn like you see kids or animals do when they wake up, until you're all the way up to the top, palms facing upward. Now root down through the feet, inhale, and as you exhale, lean on over to the right. And we're not going for the depth of any shape today, but rather the depth of the breath and our connection to our feeling and to our feet. Come all the way back on up and release your arms to the sides. This time, interlace your fingers the weird and awkward way. Press those palms forward, lift to the sides of the body, and slight bend in the knees as you move side to side, big body yawn, little by little, until you make your way to the top. Press down to the heels, press up through the thumb side and pinky side as evenly as you can, and root down through the feet and lean to the left. And spinning your heart towards the ceiling. Again, rather than depth of shape, depth and support of breath, connection, feeling, feet into the ground, love letters of your breath throughout the body. Come back on up and release your arms. Feet could be hip width or together, however you like. Reach your arms up like you're about to pull the sun in towards you, like you're holding the sun. Root down through the feet, tone the bottom of your glutes. Bring your hands to your heart and do like a little bit of a back bend here, but rather you're curling over a high bar. Press through the heels and press your thumbs into your heart. Lift your heart up into your thumbs. Lift the back of the ribs and make sure you're not collapsing in the back of the heart. Breathe fully for 3. Just a teeny bit over high bar. 2, back of the skull nice and long. And 1, and from there, expand out and fold forward, arms wide, and fold. Pause and notice, unload your spine. Allow the contents of your brain to drip down to the ground. Come into a halfway lift. Inhale, whatever halfway lift you like. You can slide your hands higher up as you press through your feet. And then exhale, hands on the ground, and step back into plank pose, into a high push-up position. Make sure you're not collapsing in the back of the heart. And as you exhale, without the face dipping into the water, with or without knees, lowering all the way down, forehead down, tops of the feet, coming into a locust pose. You can lengthen everything away from the ground for 3, 2, and 1, downward facing dog. We will meet. Strong hands, feet connected to the earth, lengthen through the spine. Now lift your right leg up, bend the right knee, and turn the left side of your pelvis to the right. So the opening is initiated from the bottom half of the pelvis. Then lift up your left heel, bend the left knee, inhale. And as you exhale, step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. Runner's lunge variation. You keep your hands on the ground or blocks, or you can lower down to your elbows on blocks or the ground. And circle your hips about 4 times, 3 to 4 times each direction. Circle those hips. Can feel nice maybe for your lower back. And hands again down, begin to straighten the arms and toe heel your right foot more towards center. Lower the back knee down, then bring your hands to your hips. Hug front foot and back knee together. Lift your frontal hip points, lift through the inner body. Stay here, you could reach the arms up for 3, 2, 1. Fingertips to blocks or the ground. Lift the back knee up, pull that outer right hip back. And as you exhale, lengthen through the front leg and now flex your right ankle and toes to your right shin. Press that right heel down. We're gonna do that 2 more times. Bend through the front knee, lengthen through the spine. And exhale. Lengthen the legs, flex the ankle and toes. 1 more time. Inhale and exhale. And pause here for a couple cycles of breath. Press that right heel down. Just a little bit, energetically pulling that right thigh bone back into the hip socket for another 3, 2, and 1. Make it up, bend through that front knee, root down and rise up into a crescent lunge. Bend that back knee slightly and lift your frontal hip points. So you may feel more of sensation front of the left hip, from the left thigh. Sides of the body nice and long. Now press through the ball of the back foot, sweep the arms back, lengthen the back leg as you bring the upper body forward into a 45-degree angle. Can you find and send out the love letters of your breath, even in the challenging situations, in the comfortable discomfort, for 3, 2, 1. Stay here. Press to the right heel. Reach the left arm forward. Reach the left lung forward. And allow the left arm to help lead you up into warrior 2. Spin the back foot flat. Landing, finding your feet. Power on the path. Now straighten out the front leg. We'll do a little circling here with the knee. Okay, the knee and a little bit of the hip. It's okay for the knee to go in the direction of the big toe and the pinky toe. So as we bend the right knee towards your right big toe, and now point the knee towards your pinky toe and straighten out through the front leg. Let's do that one more time. Big toe, pinky toe, straighten out the leg. 2 times the other direction. Pinky toe, big toe, straighten the leg. One more time. Pinky toe, big toe, and straighten out the leg. Now bending the right knee towards the middle toes, but a little bit more towards the pinky side. As you exhale, bring your right forearm to your right thigh, left arm up to the sky. Press down through your right forearm so you're not collapsing. Left palm forward, left bicep over the left ear. Do little circles around with your hips, about 2 to 3 times each direction. And then stay here. Forearm can stay where it is, or bring the right arm across your belly. Press through both feet. Reach out through both fingertips. Spin the heart to the sky for 3, 2, 1. Straighten out the front leg, star pose. Heels in, toes out. And then exhale, bring your hands to the heart, horse pose. Press to the heels and press the outer knees outward. Lift your thumb, or rather your heart up to your thumbs. Make sure the back of the heart is also broad for 3, 2, 1. Straighten the legs into star pose. Arms to the side, parallel your feet, or maybe slightly pigeon-toed in, and folding. Hands could be below shoulders or grab onto big toes, outer edges of the feet. Just make sure you have strong legs. Shifting the weight slightly forward. So make sure you're not collapsing into the back of your legs and your hips. Shift the weight slightly forward to your toes. Energize the front of your legs. Unload your spine. If your hands are below the shoulders, you can walk them back, pressing the hands down and slightly forward. For 3, 2, and 1. Halfway lift. Walk your hands to the front of the mat into a low lunge to the front of the mat. Slide your right foot halfway back, right foot below the right hip, left hand slightly forward of the shoulder, right hand to right hip, side plank variation. Spin all your toes to the right, outer edge of the left foot. Spin their left bicep to the front of the mat. Lift the bottom hip up even higher. Right arm up to the sky, or right bicep over right ear. Stay here, or keep that bottom hip lifting. Right leg on top of left for 3, 2, 1. Both hands downward facing dog, or high to low push-up. It could be locust, cobra, up dog, whatever you need. Way to play. And downward facing dog. Stay here, a couple of cycles of breath. I'm going to change direction so you can see me. Left leg lifts on up. Bend the left knee. Turn the right side of your pelvis to the left to help initiate the opening. Lift up through the right heel, bend the right knee, and on your exhale, left foot to the outside of your left hand. Stay here or come down to your elbows. This side might be different, so meet yourself where you are. Circle your hips 3 to 4 times each direction. Make sure you're not collapsing through the upper body. Don't allow the hip opening to diminish your inner light. Move in with love. Press back up to your hands, left foot more towards center. Lower the back knee down. Hands to your hips. So be mindful you're not, it may look like it's deeper sometimes, collapsing into the lower back. Rather hug front foot to back knee together so you become more buoyant in the hips. Lift the frontal hip points and lift the abs. Stay here or reach the arms up. Inner body nice and bright. Back of the body lifting for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly releasing hands down. Back toes curled under, lift the back knee and lengthen through the front legs. Flex the left ankle, fingertips on the ground or blocks. So you're not just flexing the toes, you're also flexing through the ankle. Bend through the front knee, reach the heart forward, lengthen through the spine. And exhale, lengthen and breathe. One more time, bend through the front knee and lengthen. Good couple cycles of breath here. Again, practice of self-care, self-respect, taking a shape that helps you breathe into yourself, that helps remind you that in challenging situations, finding a place not only of mindfulness, but also kindfulness. Bending through that front knee and root down, rise up into your crescent lunge. Bend the back knee slightly, lift the frontal hip points. Hug those outer hips in towards each other for 3. Lift the back of the ribs, back of the heart, 2. 1. As you straighten the back leg, press through the ball of the foot, sweeping the arms back. Can you find the love letters of your breath? Can you send it out to the perimeters of your being, even in the challenging shapes and situations for 3, 2, 1. Reach your right arm forward, reach the right lung forward, and windmill the right arm around until you land. In your warrior 2, find your power on the path through the feet, straighten the front leg. We'll do some circling here again. As you bend the front knee, reach it towards your left big toe, pinky toe, straighten the leg. One more time this direction. And straighten, pinky toe now. Pinky, big toe, straighten, pinky, big toe, straighten, somewhere in between, but closer towards the left pinky, extended side angle, left forearm, left thigh, right arm up, flipping the right palm forward, right bicep over right ear. Make sure you're not collapsing, and little hip circles here, exploring. Okay, we don't need to make anything too crisp. And finding, settling into your center. Left fingertips could be to the ground or block or across your belly. Spin the heart towards the ceiling as you reach through both feet. Reach out through both fingertips for 3, 2, and 1. Star pose, press down to come up, heels in, toes out. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart. This time, bring your hands to your thighs. Press down a little bit to lengthen through the spine. You could turn your fingertips in and now twist to the left. Right shoulder towards left knee for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release. And to the right now. And breathe for 3, 2, and 1. Bring yourself to center. 5-pointed star. And now interlace your hands behind your back. Parallel your feet. For this variation, I'll turn around so you can see, bend your elbows until you press your thumbs into your sacrum. And again, lengthen through the sides of the body. Let the lower collarbone roll to the upper collarbone. And bring your upper arm bones back, shoulder blades back. And then from there, energetically pull your hands apart. So you may feel more of an opening through the front of the chest. Stay here or lift the fist slightly away from your back body and begin to fold, keeping your legs strong. And keep that opening through the chest. Begin to squeeze your arms towards straight. Keep the heels and the hands together. So you might keep a slight bend in your elbows. Keep your legs strong and shift the weight slightly forward towards your toes so you're not collapsing into the back of your knees. Let your head go for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release your hands down. Coming into a halfway lift. Walk your hands to low lunge to the top of the mat, sliding your left foot halfway back. Right wrist slightly in front of right shoulder. Left hand to left hip. Now turn all your toes to the left. spinning onto the outer edge of your right foot. Now spin your right bicep to the front. Whatever's touching the ground, press down, lifting up. Left arm up. Left bicep over left ear. You can stay here or stacking left leg on top of right. Breathing fully, all sides of your body with love, with kindfulness for 3, 2, and 1. Mindfully releasing. Down dog or take a high to low push up and downward facing dog. We will meet. Feel free to move in any way that feels good. Of course, taking child's pose whenever you need. Reconnect to your breath, pressing your hands down, feet down, and lengthen the spine, back of your skull. And slowly make your way onto your knees and taking child's pose, whatever variation you like. You sweep the arms back, palms facing up. Rock that forehead side to side. Sweep the hands forward, hands and knees, and make your way into pigeon prep. Pigeon prep. So bring your right knee towards the outer right wrist, right foot will be in front of left hip. Curl the back toes under, slide them back. Walk the hands back towards your hips. Just a little bit of activation here. Hug front knee and back knee together. Lift the frontal hip points. The fingertips can hover over the ground. Breathing it into all sides of your heart for 3, 2, and 1. Without collapsing, hands down. Maybe slide the left knee back a little bit more. And now you're going to take, right hand will be slightly in front. Thread your left arm in between your right wrist and your right knee until you make your way. You can use a block too. With your left shoulder about center of the mat, slide your right hand back and gently pressing the left shoulder, left hand down, right hand down. And be mindful, I'm watching myself here too, to not let that right hip lift so far away from the ground. Breathing here. Keep the back of the skull nice and long. For another 3, 2, and 1. Slowly releasing. Make your way on up. Might need to slide that back knee forward a little bit. You're going to take your right knee now out wide, like a half froggy pose. You're going to come onto your forearms here. Come onto your forearms, top of the foot. You're going to thread like we did before. Left shoulder about center of the mat. Right hand slides back, right elbow to the sky. Threading here for 3, 2, and 1. Now take your right hand to your heart and keep your right knee where it is. It's okay if it lifts off. You're going to open up to the right. So allow the right knee to lift up as much as it needs to for the right shoulder blade to come down to the ground. You could also use a bolster or blocks to help support your right knee and your right shin. Looking on over to the right. Breathing fully into all sides of your body. And now look at your right fingertips. Curl them in. Bend your right elbow. Slide across your chest. Reaching to your fingertips. And then you'll slowly reverse. Make your way onto your belly. And take a moment here to overlap one hand on top of the other, forehead down. Breathe your belly into the ground. And slowly push yourself up onto your hands and knees, and we'll switch sides. So this time, left knee forward, left heel in front of right shin, curl the back toes under, slide your right leg back a little bit, but then walk the fingertips back towards your hips and hug in, lifting the frontal hip points, side body nice and long, radiant through all sides of your heart, breathing for 3, 2, 1. Slowly release. You might slide the right knee back a little bit, walk the hands forward, come into forward fold for a moment. onto your hands. And then find your twist right arm threads to the left. So about bringing your right shoulder to the center of the mat, slide your left hand back. You can keep your head on a block if you need. It helps me to keep my head in line with the spine, pressing down through the left hand and the right shoulder. Breathing fully, softening your eyeballs. Best you can, left hip back and down for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly releasing, pressing up onto your hands. Back toes under, and I'll slide your left knee to the left until you come into that half froggy pose. Top of the back foot. You'll have your left heel maybe about in line with your right knee. And then slide underneath, right shoulder about center of the mat. And sliding the left hand back. Spinning your ribs, your chest, your heart to the left for 3, 2, and 1. Left hand to your heart. And then allow your inner body to melt to the left, left arm out. Let the left knee lift as much as it needs for the left shoulder to come down to the ground. Maybe you'll need a block or a bolster to help support your left knee. Breathing fully, all sides of your body, especially in these twisting, funny, unfamiliar shapes. Sending the love letter of your breath throughout your body, that texture, that color that brings the sense of kindfulness and compassion. And look at your left fingertips, curl the fingertips in, slide across your chest, reach past the fingertips. And you'll make your way onto your belly again, other hand on top, forehead down, and relax your face. Make your way now onto your back. So you can roll on over however way you want to get there. For a happy baby pose, hug the knees in. Whatever happy baby you like, the variation I'll guide through is forearms to the inside of your shins. Hands hold on to the outer edges of your feet. Bring the soles of the feet up towards the sky. Hug your shins into your forearms. Forearms resist. Pulling the outer edges of the feet to the ground. Press the inner edges of your feet towards the ceiling. Sitting bones heavy. Shoulder blades heavy. Back of the skull long. And breathe. Breathing love, kindfulness in. Allow it to flow in, and on the exhale, allow it to flow out. Relaxing your face. With the knees soften down towards the ground for another 3, 2, and 1. Slowly releasing. Soles of the feet on the ground. We'll make our way towards a bridge pose. Bend the elbows this time. Expand out through the fingertips, sides of the body long, shoulder blades towards the back of the heart. If there's any discomfort in your knees, feel free to bring the feet a little bit wider and turn the toes slightly outward. Keep pressing down through the mound of the big toe, the center of the heel. Lift your hips from your sitting bones. Keep pressing shoulders down, elbows down, back of the skull down. Make sure you're not lifting from your ribs. Let the ribs disappear towards the back of the body. And breathe. Keep pressing. Big toe, center of the heel. And energetically pull the heels towards your bottom. So that will fire up more of your hamstrings. For 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lower down. Let the knees rest in towards each other. One hand to your heart, one to your belly. Allow your breath to settle. We'll do one more of those, any variation of bridge or a wheel pose if that's in the cards for you today. Remember to practice from a place of love and honesty, self-honesty. We'll set up the same, placing your feet however you need. Big toe presses down, center of the heel, lift from your sitting bones, stay here, or fingertips a little bit underneath your shoulders, fingertips slightly turning out. Press down, come onto the top of your head, lift your hips, plug your arm bones, back of the heart, shoulders, back of the heart, press down through hands and feet, feet and hands. If you're in wheel pose, draw energy to the heart and keep that expand out from the heart all the way out to the limbs of your body, including your head and your tailbone for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly releasing. Again, let the knees rest in towards each other. One hand to the heart, one to your belly, allowing your breath to settle. You stay here for the next couple cycles of breath, or soles the feet together, knees out wide. And bring the knees together and roll out over to one side. Gently push yourself up to seated. We'll take a couple of variations of a forward fold before we take resting pose. Bring your feet as wide as the mat, knees pointing up, toes up, hands by your hips. Lift and lengthen through the spine. We'll take like a little windmill, or also called saw in Pilates, to help release the back. As you exhale, lengthen through the spine, twist to the left, and bringing the right pinky to the outer edge of left pinky, and turn your left thumb down. And do like 2 pulses here. Come back on up and switch sides. 2 pulses now to the right. Back on up. One more time each side. Pulse. On up and to the right. Back on up, hands by your hips to the ground. Bring your feet hip width distance apart. Bend your knees. Lengthen through the spine, and now reach underneath the balls of your feet and your toes. Belly to the thighs. Inhale, press down. Keep belly to thighs. Exhale. Lengthen and round inward, shoulders from your ears. This is more about the spine rather than the hamstrings. If you want, after a couple cycles of breath, scoot the heels slightly forward, but only going as far as you can keep belly and thigh together. Press down and fold. So you can do 2 to 3 cycles of breath like that before you explore reaching or extend the heels a little bit more forward. Looking inward in self-acknowledgement as you send that texture or color of love throughout your body. Gratitude for being in this body. And slowly releasing any other shape you need. Short but sweet resting pose. Whatever helps support you in this process of integration, marinating, absorbing, letting go. Snuggle the shoulder blades back of the heart, so you're kind of creating a nest in which your heart can rest within. Using your heart as a home base or a touchstone to draw in love and to send out love, starting from the heart down towards your feet. From your heart, you think on the inhale, on the exhale, sending love to your legs. From the heart to the pelvis. From the heart to your belly. From the heart to the back body, until you make your way through the arms and hands. Right, sending the love of your heart and the love of your breath to all the nook and crannies of your body, and all the way to the front of the brain, middle of the brain to the back of the brain. Sending love from the heart with your breath to any area that needs a little extra love and compassion and self-care. Allow yourself to be supported by the ground and the outside, and your breath and your heart from the inside. And stay here as long as you're able to or you would like. If not, begin to slowly deepen your breath. Bringing movement to your fingers and your toes as you gently turn your head side to side. And with awareness, bring your legs closer together. Gather your knees in for a big hug of gratitude. Investing this time on your mat, this radical act of self-care. Roll on over to whatever side you like. Pause. Head is the last thing to come on up. As you make your way to a comfortable seated position, eyes can be closed or a soft gaze. Again, rub your hands together, create some more heat. And then place them on top of your heart as you think of one thing in your life that you are grateful for, no matter how big or small. And we'll end together one cleansing breath. First, empty out all the air from your lungs. Inhale through your nose, fill on up. And keep your heart lifted. Exhale out of your mouth. And as always, gratitude for practicing together. May it all be of benefit to us and everybody else around us. Namaste.